Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. Today, I'm your host, Alan, and we're delighted that you've chosen to join us on this awesome August morning. So one of the things that we enjoy doing is connecting to people through YouTube, through Facebook, and modern technology. So I encourage you to check out our website, cslcharlotte.org, put in a prayer request, and subscribe. We're always adding something new each and every week. So who are we at CSL Charlotte? Well, we are a new thought community based on the science of mind. This philosophy was developed in the early 20th century by writer and lecturer Dr. Ernest Holmes. Dr. Holmes was a man on a mission. He combined truths and wisdom and intentions from all of the world traditions and spiritual paths and created a fresh, new way for us to look at ourselves and how we fit into this world. So what do we do here at CSL Charlotte? Well, we are an open and affirmative community. We're diverse. We accept everybody just as they are. It doesn't matter your race, sexual orientation, or any other physical distinction, because we recognize that we are all individualized expressions of that divine light. And we're here to develop each other as well, to encourage to grow in that divine light within each and every one of us. And here we use many holy scriptures, such as the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the Tao Te Ching, just to name a few examples. And we are here to live the vision of embodying this science of mind teaching and transforming our lives so we can inspire other people to level up their lives and make the world a much better place. So if that sounds awesome to you, then I encourage you to check out our weekly consciousness meetings that meets on Tuesday evenings at 6 p.m. Stay tuned for more details. And before I pass the mic over to our fabulous leader today, I would like to read you a quote for today, something to think about. The more you see yourself as what you'd like to become and act as if what you want is already there, the more you'll activate those dormant forces that will collaborate to transform your dream into your reality. And that is by Wayne Dyer. So really let those words sink in. And now I would like to pass the mic over to our fabulous, radiant Reverend Rosedale Jones.
Hey. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Alan, for opening us up and getting us started. And welcome, everybody, to Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. We are the Mind Body Spirit Center. So, with that being said, today our focus is on set your intentions by aligning. Curious, huh? First, what we're going to do is we're going to open our Sunday celebration with an affirmative prayer to set the tone. Now, leading us in this prayer today is the loving voice of our spiritual practitioner, Maureen Thurston, aka Mo. Now, she knows how to set her intentions by aligning. So let's hear her prayer. Mo, let's pray.
Thank you. So as we take a small moment here to just center in and turn within to that place within our hearts and our minds, I know that we hear what is ours to hear from Reverend Rosedale's message today. I know that each one of us takes from this service that which is going to carry us through for the rest of the week. And as we do this service this morning, I know that each and every one of us are inspired. We are blessed beyond any type of measure. And this community continues to grow and expand and to reach out and touch lives everywhere. So as I release this and let this go, I know that everything is perfectly seamless this morning, and that each one of us get filled with which is ours to hear and to know and take within us for the rest of the week. I release, I let go, and I let God, knowing that it is done, and we can lock this in together by all of us confirming the simple, and so it is.
And so it is. So next on our platform is our fabulous and awesome, my friend and colleague, Reverend Sonja Prince. Now, she has been instrumental in CSL Charlotte for years, and she's always there. Every now and then, we are on the phone, we're talking, we're catching up. So I love it when she comes and when she can make the time. So I also know that she learned how to set intentions by aligning because she's doing the reading. So Reverend Sonja's reading is just powerful. So listen to the way she puts it out there. But while you're at it, after she finishes, listen to the song The Power of Now by Faith Rivera. And now, Sonja, make it do what it do.
Thank you, Reverend Rosedale. The reading is called the Wisdom Within, and it's written by Reverend Rosedale Jones. There is no universal formula for nourishment. There's not even a single path that fits every soul, because within each of us lies a sacred intelligence, a quiet knowing that speaks in the language of balance and truth. Science calls it homeostasis. Spirituality, we call it divine mind. We might call it intention. You might call it intention, inner guidance, or simply the voice of your being. This wisdom doesn't shout, it whispers. It knows exactly what your body, your spirit, and your journey requires. Yet, we live in a world that loves certainty. Headlines constantly publishes articles like, "This diet will heal you. This method would transform you. These systems will change your life." All of this leads to an intense craving to belong, where people sometimes forget to ask the most important question: is this right for me? Some people thrive on plants. Others need the grounding of animal nutrients. Some flourish with fasting. Others feel depleted. The truth is, extremes don't equal alignment. Trends don't equal truth. And when we chase purity or discipline without listening to the wisdom within, we risk bypassing the deeper work. Whether you know it or not, our bodies depend on deep emotional, spiritual, and connection. Real coherence doesn't come from control, it comes from connection. That is mind, body, and spirit moving together in harmony. And speaking of movement, while not everyone loves running or swimming or dancing, every single body is designed to move. Movement is life, it's breath, it's vitality. So let's take this deeper. First, align your daily actions with your deepest intention. Let your choices reflect your vision. Let your habits become prayers. Small steps taken with love build momentum toward transformation. Second, release the belief that keeps you small. I'm not enough. I can't do this. I can do things better for others than I can do for myself. These are echoes of the past, not prophecies of your future. You are capable. You are worthy. You are ready. When you listen, the wisdom within will, when you walk in alignment and when you choose courage over comfort, will begin to live in coherence. Not just physically, not just spiritually, but wholly. And that, beloved, is where transformation begins, not in the noise of the world, but in the stillness of your knowing. And lastly, a quote from Reverend Rosedale: "Be still and know that the wisdom within you is God." Thank you.
Power of now is nothing more important than this moment. So we'll start with a short centering, and you can relax your eyes by looking into your lap or basically closing them if you choose. Um, I invite you right now to take a deep breath with me and slowly release it out. And I think by now you know that that's the first thing I'm going to ask for is the breath, especially after last week. That should give you a hint why I do it all the time. But the power of now is worth breathing into because it's no other time that you can breathe better but now. So it's a gentle guide. It is an uplifter. This whole beautiful song is just that invitation to fully embrace our present moment, this moment right now. So with that being said, the lyrics actually, to me, they focus on that power, the power of now, how present it is always. And it also reminds us there's nowhere to be but exactly where we are. So with that simplicity, this is what happens. This thing carries a powerful message. And you know what the message is? The true strength and peace resides in each present moment. So spiritually, this song is beautiful and it's an anthem for intention setting. Remember that because it encourages us to pause this moment, to breathe and align our thoughts and also all of the feelings and actions that we plan to take today and that we have already taken today. And then we could use 100% fully that deep energy that's in us now. So wiggle your fingers and your toes and relax your body and integrate the mind, body, and spirit. And take a few minutes, take a few more breaths to ease into the day. Now, embrace your energy around your space and look around and begin right now to set intentions by aligning. Really look at your space. Pay attention now because this is now. Now. Did you know that your journey shapes your character? Because let me just say this, the path that you walk every day and the path you're walking right now, it's shaping in this moment. It's shaping everything in your life more than anything else ever could. The path you're on now. See, because who you become now is the real success story. You know why? Because I have a question. Who you become now is the real success story. Over the years, we had so many things go through the media and everybody jumped on bandwagons. Now, let me ask you a question. Are quick fix ideas from the media controlling your decisions, or are you listening to that inner wisdom now? See, I know many people ask each other, hey, did you hear about that new thing they got going on, the vitamin that does this and that, the wonder drug and all this and all that? And I know people are still doing it. So I see it all the time. But see, this is the deal. Your focus should be on that journey, that path that you're walking on. Focus on the journey that you're building. You are not just here to look at what everybody else is telling you what to do. You are here to focus on the journey for your own success. Because the real growth that we do have is not in the media, but we seem to think it is because we think that all that stuff sounds so glamorous. But you know what? It's just their miracle headlines. Your journey is really in your steady steps that you take from day to day that gets you forward. This moment right here is taking you to a moment. So for example, I look at this. Look at a millionaire, and he consistently spends more than he has. But you know what? He's going to run into trouble after a while if he doesn't take a moment to begin to look at his habits. Because if those habits don't change, he's going to run into a big mess. Take somebody who may not be rich. And this person, she or he is someone who's going to save whatever little money they have, they're going to save something. And then they are into that beautiful foundation, financial freedom. just because they took that moment right now and put away $20 instead of nothing. So listen, the truth is this. There's no one size fits all lifestyle anywhere. And it's not going to work for everyone. It doesn't matter whether you're struggling, whether you're successful, what you truly want to do, or what matters to you, or whether your habits are steering you towards your success. It only matters to you. Why? Because each of us, we have this energy within us that knows exactly what we need. It's like what Song just said in the reading. There's a wisdom in you that doesn't shout, it whispers. And it knows exactly what your mind, body, and spirit requires at all times. You know, science calls it homeostasis. Well, you know what homeostasis is? You know what that means. It's how the body maintains its temperature. It's how the body maintains its blood levels, right? It's how the body creates more cells and everything. If it weren't for homeostasis, we would be dead. Well, spiritually, that's the same thing we call the divine mind, the power within us. It's beating our hearts, it's taking our breaths for us. Spiritually, we call that same thing that science calls homeostasis, the divine mind. That means if you think about this divine mind, that means that we already know. It's already known deep down what's really necessary for us. Because each of us have a unique integration of the mind, body, and spirit. So that's just to tell you a little bit, because I think I'm sure she touched on it in the reading, I meant to say. Because I want to reiterate about something. In 2011, there was this documentary called Forks Over Knives, and it came out, and it stirred up a whole lot of fear. This is all in 2011, because you remember I was in Charlotte at the time, and everybody was giving out these invitations to come to watch this documentary, Forks Over Knives, and this is what people are doing. And the media pushed this big message that year, 2011, very recent, right? Stop eating meat, reverse diseases. And many people jumped right in without stopping to ask, but what does my body require? Now, some people really honestly do thrive on this plant-based diet, but others run into real deep deficiencies, especially these key nutrients. I have several friends who've been on that road ever since we heard about the vegan thing. I didn't choose to go there. I started a day or two with it and didn't like it and said, no, this doesn't work for me. And I'm very in touch with my body. But today, many of them have deficiencies and it shows on their body. But this is just saying how much fear the media can put out there. I'm just hold it with me there. You know, vitamin B is needed for your nervous system, right? But you can only, basically, it's more bioavailable in animal sources. Spirit knew exactly what it did to put all of these different things on earth, and each and every one of those animals knew exactly what they're here for. They knew they were here for nourishing whatever they had to nourish. The little babies that the hawks go down there and grab off the field, people go, oh, stop it. The universe has got to do what it needs to do. Feed the hawk is what it needed to do for some reason. Well, I'm not going to go into the thing that Timmy P told me about the hawk. I thought that was amazing. But think about it. Iron, there's a thing called hemi-iron. It's so much more bioavailable from animal sources. So what happened to me was I can tell right off that something's not right with me. So I decided not to go with the trend. You know, so just realize that it's a big deal. Media does play attention to media, but but pay attention to you. Because later on, after all of that big thing, about 10 years later or so, people started discovering that they had these deficiencies and they never connected to that. So they just didn't know they had these deficiencies. They ran with the fear and they stopped eating nutritious foods that are exclusively found in the animal, and so therefore they were. So a vegan diet works perfectly for a lot of people, but some people, it leaves them in a bad, foggy state. Then let me ask you another question. Have you heard about the fasting era? Remember in 2011 also, intermittent fasting was documented as a study. And just like the vegan wave, fasting became a trend because people were saying, oh, this is how we do it. The culture said to do this, and they chased that big, wild extreme. The media is good for really actually, now I could be preaching to the choir, but that's okay. But the media is so good for giving these magic bullets that they put in them to make it seem like it. They'll say things like, intermittent fasting will reset your metabolism. I mean, really, it's just that exciting to them. And people get very excited to that. But see, those are catchy phrases. I really want you to think about it. They're very catchy, but here's the thing. They're designed only to sell excitement. They're not designed to tell the truth. So here's the thing. Humans are wired for belonging. And when their friends and when influencers or whole cultures decide they're going to jump on a bandwagon, many people choose to follow. That's the whole thing with a lot of people who can't follow that power within them because of so much that's going on out there. So we need to pay attention to what we know, even to the point people are wondering about politics, what's going on out there. They're not following that little whisper, that inner truth. Here's the truth. Not everyone could stop eating, and not everyone needs to worry about the Dow Jones or whatever else is going on in society or in the economy. They just need to learn their inner being to maintain their own health. And some some people have definitely learned how to do fasting with ease. Some people have learned to do it and learned some really bad habits about themselves. So, all right, that's enough about that. But spiritually, when we ignore our body signals, we just want to go after the trend, after that next idea, ignore it, and then we disconnect from our inner wisdom. The further away we get from our inner wisdom, the easier it is to go into the opposite of your success. Because true health isn't about controlling what everything's said and who's doing what. It's about listening to that inner whisper that is already inside of us. So now let's get to self-approval. I have been exploring self-approval by watching different people. And in other words, I just can tell when someone's looking for self-approval, and I could spot it a long way. And this is what it is. Self-approval is a perfect example of all of this because people want to follow. I remember a friend of mine, when they started on the crave with the vegan, she said, "You're a vegan, right?" As though she would approve of me if that's what I was. But no, I said, no, I'm not vegan. I eat everything that I want to eat. I don't want to prove to people how virtuous I am and how much I want to stay with the pack, because then I would be dealing with spiritual bypass, and that's not something that I work with. So true alignment to me is not about controlling and telling everybody else what to do and making sure we're all on the same path. It's about creating coherence. It's about coherence, which is how we actually can integrate the mind, body, and spirit. So just like no single diet works, no single practice works, no single lifestyle works for everyone. But here's the thing, that's totally universal. This is the biggest thing that's universal, and that is movement. My body, your body, every animal, every tree, everything in nature must move in order to stay alive and to stay vibrant and stay strong. And that's the most powerful thing to think about. Me, my mind, my body, and my spirit. Now, let's take this a little bit deeper. It's not only food and exercise, it's about living life, period. That's what life is about, living it. The first point is what you want to do is you want to line up what you do every day with where you choose to go. I want to go straight, and this is the direction I'm going in. So if this line is not telling me I'm going there, then I need to change. I need to find my transition. I need to find my transformation point. Every step you take today is paving the way for tomorrow. Right now, whatever it is, it's about setting intention and leaving it right where it needs to be, in here. Not leaving it on paper. It's about weaving that intention into the way you live right now. That's what the power of now is really all about. Think about the impact of you, the small actions that you do. When you do little steps, they line up with your big vision. They don't have to be big deals. They don't have to be a huge change. And the thing is this, say your intention is better health. Okay, that doesn't mean that you got to make a big giant change and say, okay, I'm going to lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks. It's daily choices. It's like eating nourishing foods today, exercising your body every day. It's about taking time for your practices. That's mind, body, and spirit. All of those little small actions, they add up to shape your bigger vision of what it is you really choose to live. It all points to the way the mind, body, and spirit integrates. Everybody wonders, what is mind, body, spirit integration? But here's the key. It takes mindfulness plus intention in order for us to actually feel what it means, what it means to be awake. What does being awake mean? It means making the right choices. So stay woke. Don't go to sleep on the fact that everybody else is on one particular bandwagon and you're not, because this is what I used to live by. When I see everybody going in that direction, I'm going this way because I know that's not the right way. When the masses is following, I'm not going in the right direction. Try it. Take a look. Start asking yourself before you make a change in your life. Am I living aligned with my intentions? Or is this just another distraction? Because you know what? That's where discipline really shows up. It's not a punishment to have to sit down and everybody else is all like, yeah, we're doing this. It's a practice. And it's a practice of choosing the long-term joy over that short-term comfort. Because a lot of people, they want really quick fix. Microwave it, throw it in the microwave. I want this right now. But see, when you set your intentions by aligning your daily actions with all the choices that you make, something shifts. You have no choice but to get that shift. See, the path ahead of us, it starts to feel clear once we start making that choice, making that real choice, and then letting the shift happen. It starts to get clear. Then we start to find this connection with ourselves, and everything seems so doable. Oh man, that's how dreams stop being just nice ideas. They become real, because here's the challenge. Sometimes people get blocked by what's out there. And see, sometimes what people think is, that's stopping me. That's not, they're looking outside their life and saying to themselves, I'm not happy with that, so that's blocking me. The block is not coming from out there. The block is coming from in here. So that brings us to our second point. We need to bring ourselves up to freedom by making sure we free ourselves from these limiting beliefs that we have. See, these limiting beliefs are quiet and they're very subtle. And Sonja read it in the reading. People say things like, I can't do this. That's your subtleness, that's your conversation. I'm not good enough. Another part, she says, oh, I could do that better for other people, but I can't do it for me. So these beliefs they're so subtle, they sneak in, and they're sneaking in from the past. And what she said, they keep you small. So what happens is while you're so small, you're feeling so small, you're honoring others more than yourself. And the more I give you homage and the less I give me homage, I'm putting invisible chains on me, and these chains will hold you back even when you want to move forward. You think you're moving and you should be going forward. Everybody thinks that way, but when it's not going that way, then watch what you're saying to yourself. Watch your conversation in the car, just sitting alone. Watch all those conversations that's going on in the mind. Because if you believe you're not capable of success, that belief shapes your choices. That belief, especially when you make choices based on something out there, those beautiful headlines that you see that make sense, but the most sense you skipped because you didn't hear that little whisper. Not all the headlines that you hear are truly from a scientific source. Now, I remember they would cite different things about peer review, but not the whole truth about it. You see, statistics are in the eye of the beholder. What do they want you to believe? We'll tell you about that little snippet about that truth, but I'm not going to give you the whole thing, right? So this way, you run the risk of making disruptive choices by being too much. You'll hold back, you'll second guess yourself, you'll sometimes even sabotage your own progress because you're trying to figure out how do I get out there. We can't go on two sides. You can't serve two masters, you and somebody else. It's impossible. First step, that's the first step in breaking free from recognizing your own beliefs. You gotta break free by recognizing your own beliefs. So ask yourself every now and then when you catch yourself going into a room and saying to yourself, what am I here for? Know that this is a promise. You had 20 conversations going on as you said, I'm going to go over here and get the rubber bands out of that bag. But you had these 20 conversations going on and didn't hear them. And they just really confused you. So, what stories were you listening to at that time? I stop and I say, wait, what was I thinking about? I really want to know. I say to myself, what fears is keeping me stuck? Do you do that? I say to myself, what stories am I repeating that I know don't serve me? I just ask myself that. So I challenge you, ask yourself, what fears are keeping me stuck? And once you see them for what they truly are, you get the power to challenge them. Every last one of those beliefs, because that takes courage. And courage means I'm going to let go of those limiting beliefs that are constantly running through me, stepping through everything that I'm possibly doing, stepping inside of my heart, stepping inside of, and I'm afraid to move from my comfort zone because of all these beliefs. But see, here's the thing. When we say yes to uncertainty, that's when courage needs to be pulled up the most. The minute you say, all right, I'll do it, because you know that's the right thing to do, but it's so much easier to not do it because I got to really apply myself now, okay? But on the other side of that discomfort is freedom. That really discomfort of being afraid of uncertainty, that's a very uncomfortable feeling. But here's what I know. That's when you start to see you as capable because now you're uncomfortable. You got to figure out how. You start to feel yourself as capable, worthy, and you start to feel that full potential that you have. And when that discomfort mindset starts to shift, everything changes. You start to feel more confident, but you start to even notice doors are opening for you. But the thing is, you have to experience that or see somebody else who's changing. You know that something went on in their mind. And then after you do that, you start to attract more opportunities and that they actually truly, have you ever seen something that lined up with who you truly are after always wondering, could you have it? Hmm. So when you put this all together, this is what it is. There's a couple of things you're doing. You're listening to your body. You're aligning your daily steps with these long, beautiful intentions, long term, not short term. And then you're actually breaking free from those limiting beliefs that you have. What all happens when you do that? You're living full coherence. And that's when your mind, body, and spirits is truly integrating. And this is where real transformation happens with that. And it doesn't happen in all of these extremes. It doesn't happen in following trends, but in a steady, day to day, joyful alignment with the wisdom that you're listening to that's inside of you instead of the wisdom outside of you. Because the wisdom outside is not going to outweigh what you got in here. But at the end of the day, remember this, there is no diet, there is no trend, there is no headline that gets to decide for you. We are each, like I always say, spiritual beings having a one of a kind human experience. And that means that no one size fits all, none. So this is your path, your journey, your success. And at this next time, when you start to think about affirmations, just say, this is my life. When your friends say, are you vegan? Are you vegetarian? Or are you fasting? Hey, listen, did you hear about intermittent fasting? Just say, this is my life. Just think about that because the real miracle isn't out there what everybody else is doing and whether I'm following the trends. It's in here where the real choices that I make for my own life sets me free from all the limiting beliefs that I have. So let your heart be like this open highway. And then think about this, what's better than anything else but your affirmations? And what about affirming? It's my life. So listen to the song, It's My Life by Bon Jovi. Wow. It's my life. So all the friends are there saying, come, be here, do this with us. And he's making it there. But then here's Bon Jovi over there saying, it's my life. I'm going to do this my way. Frankie said it. He said it in his song. Frankie Sinatra said, I did it my way. See, like Bon Jovi sang in his heart, he said, live your life like an open highway. He said, I just want to live while I'm alive. And it's back to me again. Time for me to do the big gratitude shout outs. So with that all being said, thank you, Alan, my right-hand man, for doing what you do as far as the MC today. And our opening and closing prayer was you, Mo, and thank you so, so much for stepping up for Dr. Wanda. And Reverend Sonja, your reading was fabulous. I know you're riding in your car, and thank you for being here today. And it was great reading. Great to have you read with us. And thanks, Melissa, for spotlighting and making sure that you get everyone in here greeted and inside. And thanks, Timmy P, for the music and announcements. And I think I like that we will be doing this Tuesday of shift. So that's good too. So thank you for bringing that up as well. And the emailing of the prayers and the requests and all that stuff is still on you, Mo. And I thank you so much for still hanging in there and being loving and waiting. So the last thing we're doing today is talking about where we came and from the beginning to the end. So set your intentions by aligning. And remember that this week. if you really don't remember anything else, just say, I'm gonna set some intentions, because that's how you align. See, we boldly heard that song, It's My Life. We also know we've heard that song about it, the power of now. So speak your truth and be light in heart. And the only way to build that courage is to just speak what you want to speak, be your own person. I am totally challenge you right now to use your courage this week. When someone asks you if you're like them, if you're going to do what they do, only unless you like what they do. But in the same time, be brave enough, have your courage to decide what you will do for yourself. So listen to the song Brave by Sara Bareilles. See you be brave. Now that we have all explored and heard whatever we heard from setting our intentions by aligning, say what you want to say. Let the words go ahead and fall out, because nobody can speak your words. And that's the way I feel. Nobody can do it. I have to be brave at times when I don't feel like being brave, right? But you do too. You know better than me. So set your intentions by aligning. And so, Mo, are you ready to pray us out, my dear?
Another great message, Reverend Rosedale. Thank you for an incredible start to the new week. So as we close out this service today, I know that each and every one of us take with us the knowledge and the knowingness that everything within our lives is fluid, that we have the power to be anything that we want to be. And as we go into this upcoming week, I know that everything flows smoothly and easily for each and every one of us, that we are blessed beyond any kind of measure. And I give gratitude once again for this amazing community and for each and every one of you that are here today. I release and I let go and I let God, knowing that we are blessed and we carry it forward and spread it out to everyone and every life that we touch. And together we can lock that in simply by saying, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Mo, for the opening and the closing. So, as we wrap up our time together today, stop when you get off anytime today. When we get off and we're leaving, set your intentions by aligning to something today. And you can do it 24/7. Just go ahead and do it. Because as we leave this beautiful space and we set our intentions, it's not just something that's a great idea. It's a beautiful practice, but you got to try it. So it's already in your body, right? So the universe is always responding to you, always reflecting, and always supporting your path. Do you believe that? And if you believe it, until we meet again, spend a lot of time this week setting yourself up and setting alignments, setting intentions by aligning. Don't forget the nutrition, start studying on it, and your exercise, and using that energy inside of you. With that being said, the next time we see each other, let's set intentions by aligning.